What's up guys, and a big welcome back to the channel, myself included. It's been a long time since I've been able to upload. I actually just spent the last week in Puerto Rico vacationing with my wife. It was awesome, but let me tell you, I am glad to be back. I miss seeing this car, I miss driving it, and I miss just making videos for you guys. And I figure after all this time gone, what better way to get back into things than to talk about what we're gonna talk about today. What's in that crate right there is something that I get asked about just about every single upload. Someone's always asking me about the status, what's going on with it, and today I'm gonna tell you. So what is this thing sitting right here? It's an E36 M3 6-speed manual transmission that we're gonna be swapping into my E36 M3 5-speed. Let's take a closer look. So I realized I got some explaining to do, since when I bought this transmission first, I think I had like 1,000 subscribers, so it's been a while. What we have here is a Getrag 420G 6-speed transmission. Now this wasn't always a 6-speed manual, but we'll get into that in just a minute. So why would I, if I have a working 5-speed transmission in my E36, want to buy an E46 M3 transmission? Well, the 6th gear is one of them. I live in a place where the speed limits are 75, even sometimes 80 for a speed limit. So as you can imagine, I'm going 85, 90 miles an hour pretty frequently. And with a 5-speed that comes in the E36, I'm rolling at about almost 4,000 RPMs, between 3,500 and 4,000. That's just a little high for cruising to car meets all the time, an hour away. Now the other reason, which is more important than the last one, is that the Getrag 420G is known to be an extremely stout gearbox. People handle with this thing over 800 wheel horsepower. I've seen some people even swap these things into Supras when they're changing them from an automatic to a manual. They're good, solid transmissions. Does that leave you some hints for the future about what I want for my E36? Maybe. And so like I said, this 6-speed manual wasn't always a manual. It actually started its life out as an SMG. But the cool thing is, the SMG gearboxes and these manual gearboxes are basically the same for what you see here to here. The SMGs just have a bunch of hydraulic and electric stuff bolted on the back to shift gears for you. And my particular transmission was more than just ripping off all that SMG stuff. As you can see, it's been repainted. All of the detents and springs were replaced with all brand new stuff. And basically it's all new hardware and ready to go. Almost. So when I say almost, that's because there's more than just ripping all the SMG stuff off to make this thing ready to be put in a car as a manual transmission. And I'm not exactly sure to what extent this transmission has been prepared for that. So the biggest downside between turning an SMG transmission into a manual doesn't have to do with just ripping that stuff off. That's the easy part. The hard part is in the bell housing. So basically, the bell housing from here over is different in the SMG and the manual. And if you want to use the transmission as a manual, you got to convert some stuff. Now, unfortunately, I'm kind of unsure with my transmission about to what extent that's been done. So we have to take out the bell housing and check for ourselves. I'm going to go ahead and throw up on the screen what an SMG bell housing looks like. And next to it, I will put up the 6-speed manual bell housing. You can see the differences. So basically all the stuff that's in the manual bell housing that's not in the SMG one are the things that make your shift lever return to center after you shift from 5th and then 1st and 2nd and even over to the reverse gate. They're the things that provide the resistance and help you find those gates that you need to make it into the different gears. Now you don't need those in the SMG because you have a computer doing it for you. So now we have to add that stuff in there. There is one other way to get around all that stuff if I open up that bell housing and find out that it's not already done, but we'll talk about that in a second. Now we gotta actually crack this bell housing open and see what's inside of this thing. So guys, I've been sitting here wrenching on this transmission for like the last 25-30 minutes trying to get all these bell housing bolts out. And I'm getting kind of bored. It's taking a long time because I can't really fit a wrench in there, a socket wrench. So I gotta use the open-ended wrench here, and it just, you know, this whole thing takes a long time. And so I'm looking around at this transmission and I realized something that's made me kind of feel a little bit stupid and made me about waste the last half an hour. So this thing right here is a shift selector rod, this thing. And it's basically connected to the stick shift in your car. So if you're center and you want to go forward to third, it's basically going to pull this rod out. Here, I'll show you real quick. So that would be third gear, and then if you pulled it back to go into fourth, oh, it went in twice. You can see that would be fourth gear. But what that also means, if I were to move my stick shift over to the left to go to first and second, then it would rotate this to the left, or if I went to the right to go to fifth and sixth, this would rotate to the right as well. So my thinking is, if I can twist this and it rotates freely, that means that all the parts that are supposed to be in the bell housing to convert it to manual so that it returns to center have not been done, and I got some work to do. But if I move this thing to the left and it wants to spring back to the center, if I move it to the right and it wants to spring back to center, then we know that everything that has to be done to convert this bell housing to a manual 6-speed bell housing has already been done. So let's find out here. So I'm gonna go over to the left like I was going into first and second gate. See that? It wants to go back to center. And if I go to the right like I was gonna go to fifth and sixth, it wants to go back to center. That's totally awesome because I bought this 6-speed for only 1,500 bucks. And ones that come out of manual cars sell online for anywhere between 1,000 to 2,000 or even above 2,000 bucks. And SMGs sell between 500 and 1,000 bucks. So I basically got a fully prepped SMG to manual swap transmission, all the seals, bearings, detents, and everything switched for only 1,500 bucks. Now, one reason why you might want to look into getting an SMG like I did is because SMGs have the computer shift for it. So the computer is not going to abuse the transmission. It's not going to shift too hard or too fast. Or, you know, it's really designed to preserve the transmission and help it from being hurt. So chances are, if you buy an SMG with 100,000 miles or you buy a normal manual 6-speed with 100,000 miles, the SMG one is probably going to be in better condition. I do have a few other parts that we're going to need for the swap. One is in this box right here. This is a 325i clutch slave. You need this to have the same amount of clutch pressure that you feel in this car stock after throwing this in here. And then this one's not really necessary, but it's the clutch delay valve delete. So that's definitely some good news, but there are some more things that I have to get before this actually can go in the car. So if you can imagine this as if it were in the car right now, we still need an E46 flywheel and clutch as well as a throwout bearing. And then we need an E36 M3 Euro 6-speed transmission crossmember so that this thing can be mounted into the car. And then behind that, we need a drive shaft because this is a different length than the transmission that's in there right now. I've heard that you can use an E36 M3 automatic drive shaft and that will work. There's also ones that would probably be a better option that are custom made for this swap, and that's gonna be pretty expensive. And then on top of that, to get this thing to link into the car so we actually can shift it, we also need from an E36 M3, the Euro, is the 6-speed shift linkage. Once we get all that stuff, then that means that we have everything that we need, if I'm not forgetting anything, to put this transmission into the car and have it ready to roll. Now I gotta mention, when I first bought this 6-speed, it was like a year ago, and it's taken me a long time to save up the money to acquire all these parts for it because I'm trying to buy other parts so I can keep the channel interesting, keep doing some upgrades for you guys, and not just do nothing for months. But if you guys are getting impatient, man, I'm ready to put this thing in. It's just a matter of getting the funds for it. So if you guys wanna see this happen quicker, there's a way you can do it. Check this out. Tricks on the Streets merch, baby. So if you're watching the videos and you scroll down a little bit, you'll see all the new merch that I have on the channel. We got shirts, we got tanks, we got stickers and all that kind of stuff. And every time that you guys buy one of those things, it goes directly into supporting the channel and buying parts like the parts we need for this 6-speed. I think that's just about everything that we need to go over today as far as what we still need for the 6-speed swap. There is one other way that we can simplify this whole thing and kind of get around a few steps that's also a little bit cheaper, but that topic is for another video. So with all that stuff said, there's something else that I want to mention to you guys. So I was looking at my subscriptions and we're only a couple hundred subscribers away from hitting 20,000. It honestly seems like it was just a couple months ago when we hit 10,000, and that doubled pretty fast. And so I'm really grateful for all the support that you guys give. I'm thankful for every subscriber, and so I'm gonna start doing some giveaways as a thank you. So for these giveaways, they're gonna be kind of different than you might expect. I'm not gonna give away a part for the E36 because some of my subscribers don't have an E36, but what I'm gonna do is once we hit 20,000 subscribers, the next 4 videos in a row, I'm gonna be doing a giveaway. And how I'm gonna do it's a little different than you might expect. So in those 4 videos, somewhere random, I'm not gonna say, is just gonna pop up a redemption code for an Amazon gift card. And so if you wanna be the one that gets that Amazon gift card, all you gotta do is once you see that code, head to Amazon as fast as you can, type that redemption code in and redeem the gift card before anyone else does. And so obviously, to better your chances of getting that gift card, you can be obviously subscribed to the channel and then hit the notification bell so that when I upload a video, you'll be the first to know, and then watch the whole thing, because I might have that at the very beginning, I might have it 6 minutes and 20 seconds in, I might have it 10 seconds before the end of the video. I don't know, it's gonna be different in every single one. But those are the terms of the giveaway, and it's gonna happen once we hit 20K, so be subscribed, hit the notification bell, and keep your eyes out for that stuff. With all that stuff said, if you guys have questions about this whole 6-speed swap that I didn't mention, first of all, this is not gonna be the last episode that I'm gonna make on it, obviously, but you can always put your questions in the comments below. If you guys enjoyed today's video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up, and if for some reason you're not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button as well as the notification bell so that you guys don't miss an episode, and so that you guys can win those 4 giveaways coming up, and I will see you guys in the next one. Holy shit! 596, 583.